Was about to get back with my ex. I just got a FaceTime with her boyfriend who she's been living with for 3 months. My ex left me about 4 months ago. And moved to some mystery location. Said she was going to stay with her cousin, but I knew she was lying. Shit didn't add up. We have a daughter, so I immediately got a lawyer and made sure I got 50-50 custody. Eventually she told me she was staying with 2 couples. Which again I knew was BLLS. But not much I could do, couldn't force her to tell me the right location, but when the time came to write up the paperwork for custody, she provided the address, so that was good. I actually knew where she was. A couple weeks after that, while I was picking my daughter up, my ex said that she didn't have anywhere to stay. And that she was gonna live with her dad. She stayed there for about a week. And said she ended up going back to the same place she was. Then I realized when I would FaceTime with my daughter, that she was in a totally different place. The setting was different. I asked, and of course she lied. So a little while after that she started begging for me back. Relentlessly for about a month. So eventually I came around. We spent a weekend together and I was great, just like only times. We had time and it was great. Couple days after that she confessed to sleeping with someone else while we were broke up. I did the same, so we decided to just drop it. A week later she starts blowing my phone up again. Wanting to get back. Like a duck I let her back in. We were talking for the last 2 days. After I was done with some side work today, I saw I had a missed FaceTime from her. I called back and a guy answered. I was floored. Said that he was her boyfriend. They have been talking for 2 years and dating for 4 months. And this is where she has been staying the last 2 months. She cheated on him with me when we hung out. Really glad dude told me. BC, we were gonna hang out this weekend, and started talking about getting an apartment together. This whole it is just insane to me, but looking back a lot makes sense. Just looking for any type of advice. My mind is completely blown right now. Hard to wrap my head around. Update, she's living with and dating the guy she left me for. Talked to behind my back for 2 years. My fiancé of 4 years left me 4 months ago to live with another man. We have a daughter together and I helped raise her son from birth basically. Her and I were on the verge of getting back together last week. I missed a FaceTime from her. I called back and her new BF answered. Told me everything. They have talked for 2 years, and have dated pretty much since the day she left. My ex and I hung out about 3 weeks ago, stayed the night together, and had sex. She cheated on him with me. I left a lot of it out that happened in the relationship. BC, I don't want this to be crazy long. But she did me wrong, man. A lot. I know deep down I'm better off without her. But am a fkin mess, man. To know the woman I was gonna marry just so easily moved on and replaced me is about the worst I've ever felt in my life. Like when she has the kids, they're just one big happy family. I've been removed from my own family. Shit is just insane. Can't believe this is where my life is. How I let it get to this point. I act strong and all this acid in front of people. I still work out every single morning, go to work, do my side work. Haven't had an actual day off in months, but it's all I think about. It's destroying me. The intrusive thoughts of them having sex. Spending time together. Man, it's effed. I can barely eat or sleep. I still do what needs done, but I feel like I'm gonna break soon. I just don't get how after someone did me so wrong and threw me away that I could still care so much for her. Makes me feel so low. I'm broken, shattered, and feel as low as I ever have. I've come so far in life. Been through so many huge obstacles. I've really been a good person. I'd like to think there is a reason behind everything, but I just can't see past this. I'm so deeply hurt. And I'm under so much stress and suffering, I'm starting to literally feel sick. Any support would help at this point. I'm so lost. Peace and love. Update, why do I want her to want me back? She came crying back to me 2 times, I let her in both. The second time we were working on things, I miss a FaceTime from her. Called her back and dude answers saying he is her boyfriend. They have talked for 2 years and dated for 4 months. The first time we tried to work things out, she came over, stayed the night, and we had sex. So she cheated on him with me. And he knows. So last weekend I go to pick up my daughter and I just kept it strictly business. She was in shock that I didn't want to talk to her other than about our daughter. To the point of her trying to grab my arm 2 times. I had to tell her to not touch me. I go to leave and she won't even let me close my door for like 2 minutes, asking again and again if I still loved her, that she would never let us go, and that she was gonna get a house close to me so we could work our family out. I tell her I'm done, and that all conversations from here on out are about my child, that's it. When I took off finally, she called me 24 times. I didn't answer a single one. We end up texting about an appointment my daughter has a couple days later. The conversation ends up saying that he is not her boyfriend, and that if I would have allowed her to explain on Saturday I would have known the whole deal. She texts me yesterday saying she is ready to finalize the court paperwork to make custody legal. She has been putting this off for months. For some reason it really ducking her. Like I know I could never go back, I know that it's done. But for some sick reason in my head and with my emotions, I knew this was her saying she's just gonna be with dude and continue their relationship. I just don't know why I even give a FCK. It's ducked up, but I still love her just as much. And for some sick reason it felt good for her to want me. Anybody go through similar emotions like this? Like this chick treated me like dirt. Had at least an emotional affair and probably a sexual one as well. And for some reason I still want her to want me. Makes me feel so damn low that I even care at this point. Any insight would be appreciated, much love. Update, I'm a ducking disaster. Just absolutely lost. Rock bottom. She's living her best life, with my replacement. Shortly after I quit caring, she bombarded me with texts, calls, FaceTimes. Begging to get back. Doing and saying everything she could to keep her on my mind. Sending me old videos, family pictures, saying how she couldn't live without me and how bad she messed up for leaving. I was her forever, soulmate, everything you can think of. After a month of this I let her back in. Wanted my family together and was willing to work through things. We spent a weekend together at a family event of hers. She ended up staying the night. We had sex, it was great, the whole day was great. It felt amazing. A week or so goes by. She's sending me houses and apartments that she wants us to get. We're saying I love you. Calling each other baby, all that it. Basically back together, but still apart. I do some side work. I see I have a missed FaceTime. I call her back and a guy answers. Says she has been living with him for 3 months. They have dated for 4 months. And have been talking for 2 years. She cheated on him with me that weekend. What a ducking dagger. Absolutely flipped my whole world upside down. For the second time in 4 months, I was put back to rock bottom. She texts me immediately. Saying it's not all true, they haven't talked for 2 years. He just said that so I would give up on her. That weekend for the drop off. She's telling me she will never give up on us. Trying to grab my arm. She's gonna buy a house close to me so we can work on us. I told her to not touch me, only talk about this kids from now on. That we are done for good. And to be faithful to her man. Yesterday I dropped my daughter off and she was totally fine. Laughing, trying to crack jokes with me. And now she wants to finally sign the custody paperwork she has put off for months. Telling my daughter how they're gonna have a great weekend camping and going to the beach. Just ducking kills me. Why the duck nudge your way back into my life when you have a new life already? So now I'm left to try and pick the pieces of my life back together. While she has it all now. New man, new house, new car, new life. I've never been so low in my life. My self-esteem, self-worth, confidence. It's all gone. I'm destroyed, and she's living it up with my replacement. What's the duck is life anymore? I'm sick to my stomach. Worst part is, I still love her more than anything. To me she is still the most beautiful, funny, awesome girl I've been met. I thought we really were soulmates. I will never feel for someone else the way I do for her. Even after seeing who she really is, I still think she's the best thing out there. They'll never get someone as beautiful, someone that I clicked with the way I did her. I'm still so deeply in love with this woman. It makes me feel lower than dirt. I'm disgusted with myself and everything my life has now become. Update, just can't wrap my head around this asset. I've been replaced in my own family. I didn't know this for a fact until 2 weeks ago. She cried for me back for about a month. I let her back in my life, for about 2 weeks. To call her one day after some side work to her new BF answering and telling me the whole thing. While she was back in my life for 2 weeks, we slept together, so she cheated on him with me. I just can't ducking wrap my head around it. Yeah, we had a lot of ducking issues, don't get me wrong. It's not that I didn't see a spill of some kind coming. But Jesus Christ. To just upleave someone you had a whole life with for the last 4 years. And immediately switch to just plugging a new guy, new house, new life. It just blows my mind. Now obviously I know this didn't happen overnight. Her BF told me they have talked for 2 years, so I guess the suddenness of her doing this isn't so sudden. But man, I just can't fucking wrap my head around any of this. Like I'm sitting here by myself, just trying to figure out how someone could do such a thing. How you could just switch from telling me you love me one day, to telling it to someone else the next. How you could lay down with me for the night, and the next day you're doing it with someone else. Maybe I was far too naive. Maybe I bestowed too much faith into mankind to believe this, as it only happens to other people, or in movies. Maybe I allowed myself to have so much willful blindness that I played just as large of a role in this as she did. I just can't ducking figure it out. It's like no matter how many times I tell myself I'm better off without her, or that things will get better for me, or that you lose a cheater you gain a life. I am still just in complete shock with people's proclivity for malevolence. This has really just changed my whole view of the world and of people. I just needed to vent, I guess. Maybe I should just journal next time and not spam this sub every couple days. Man, don't know much of anything anymore. I know it'll be okay, someday you'll see this in a different light. But it's just like, wow man, you don't ever really know someone, I guess. I at least have 50-50 custody of my daughter, and that's all that really matters.